Welcome back to the channel Learn with Selassie. So in this video we'll be looking at IDs and classes in CSS. We'll be looking at the difference between both of them and how we can use them to style elements on our HTML page. See you guys. Yes, so let's go straight to classes and IDs. So let's open our index.html file. So what we'll do is, so we have this here. So basically IDs and classes are almost similar, but the difference is for ID is very unique, as in you can use ID for only a single element on your web page, and classes can be used for multiple elements. So let's say you've named a container or any element on your HTML page, you've given it an ID, you can only use that on your particular HTML page. That means you cannot create an ID for a container or an element on the same page and then use it again on the same page. It's very unique. But for classes can be used for multiple elements. So let me just show you how this works. So let's say we have this paragraph here, and then I name this paragraph. So the way ID works, we have to use the ID tag and then equal to. So let's say this, I'll give it a name. You can give it any name you want. So my ID, okay, my ID. So if I want to use this in CSS, what I'll do is to call that ID name, I have to use the hash and then followed by the ID name. So the ID name is my ID. Okay, so I can put the styling in now. So let's say I want to give this ID a background color for blue. Yeah, okay. And then padding, let's see, 50px. Okay. And then I want to style only the paragraph tag for this particular ID. So the way that works, I have to give the ID name and then paragraph. So let's say font size is 25px and font color sorry, color is just color, will be white, so white. Okay, so I'll save this and then we'll open it in our browser. So yeah, as you can see, so we've seen the effects on this paragraph tag in the other paragraph. So one more thing we can do is, the way classes works, as we've seen in the previous lessons, you just have to give the class name, and if you want to style that, you can use the dot full stop and then the class name, which is second. Okay, then let's say background color will be blue violet. Okay, and then padding will be 100px. Okay, so if I want to style the paragraph tag for this container with the class name second, all I have to do is dot and then the class name and then the p tag, and I'll make this font size 35px and the color white. Okay, so you can see this, both of them, they have the paragraph tag, they are in the paragraph tag, but when we go back, when we go and see, the sizes will be different. You can see this one is bigger than this one. So with classes and IDs, you can use them to change the element, style the element the way you want, but just that IDs are very unique. So I can still copy this now and duplicate. So instead of styling this container and styling this container again, with the use of the class ID, I can just style all of them. And one more thing is, inside class, you can add one more. You can still add more class names. So let's say this one is third. Okay. So I want to change the font size, or let's say I want to, for this particular one, I want to style the paragraph tag and make it, the text should be center. So for the alignment, so what I'll do is I'll go here inside the style tag, dot the class name and p, the paragraph tag. So text align center. So let's see how this will work. So as you can see, this paragraph is centered and this one is left align. So we can use multiple class names, but for ID we can only use one. And one more thing you have to know is IDs have higher priority than classes. So let's say I remove this, and then what do we do? Okay, so let's clean this. Okay, and then inside this we can still add class to this. So if I add the class and I make it, I'll name it my class. Okay, and then I'll just clean this also. So we have this container. Inside this container we have the paragraph tag, and for this container we have an ID and we have a class also. So if I go and name this and style this my ID, I'll just copy this class. If I name this class my class, so as you can see, I'm giving different styling to the same div, which is really confusing. But the browser will go for the ID first. Will rather go for the ID rather than the class. So if I save this now and then go back and reload, as you can see, it's only the ID that is working. So IDs have higher priority when it comes to the browser. And then it's easy also to use ID when you are using JavaScript. So let's say you want to create a function for any element. If you create an ID, since it's very unique, it will be very easy for you to target that ID, that element, rather than creating classes. It's really confusing. So the bottom line is, if you have your web page, your HTML page, and on that page you have different elements you want to give the same styling in CSS, is the best thing to do is to use class. And if you have a web page and you have a single element that you want to give a specific style to, that's, let's say, that only that element on your web page, that is when you use an ID, because IDs are very unique. So you can only give one ID name to an element on your web page. I know it's really confusing, but once you practice more, you get to understand how this really works. So again, I repeat, IDs are very unique, and you need only one ID name for an element on your web page, but you can give different elements on the same page the same class name. I don't know if you understand. Yes, so I think that's the best way I can actually explain. So we use both of them to style the elements, various elements on our web page, and this is how they work actually. So if you want to use the ID, you start by using the hash and then the ID name, then you open and close, and then you put whatever style you want. And if you want to use class, you use dot and then the class name, and then you put in whatever styling you want. Yeah, so this is how we use IDs and classes in CSS. So hope to see you guys in the next lesson. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and then hit the notification bell. I'll see you guys in the next lesson. Peace out.